look at public U, because I'm going to be honest with you, most time when you go interview with an employer, they really don't care if you went to a public or a private school. They also don't even ask your GPA. For undergrad, you don't even list your GPA. Doesn't matter. Just understand that. So let's look at public U. Make sure that's up there. All right, that should be good. Number 2 is the option we're going to go over. Number 2, so what is our more favorable option? Not the most optimal, but better than those two if you're the average family. Let's examine public U for our student with the cost of $23,032, which is already more favorable because you're not taxed with a $40,000 cost just to attend college per year. But there's still a trap a lot of students fall into. So their total package is $28,532 because you always have the option to take out your federal loans. Believe it or not, a lot of students choose this option because they look at that $5,500 left over as free money. At the end of each year, whatever loans aren't applied towards school expenses on your account is refunded to you. Now, begin the spring break vacations and down payment for new cars and shopping sprees on money you have to pay back. Congratulations, now you have an estimated $22,000 to repay, and that's if you only take out $5,500 a year. The farther along in school, the more you can borrow. Age doesn't automatically equal wisdom, okay? When you're a freshman, they limit you with that $5,500. As you become a sophomore, junior, and senior, they increase that max of what you can take out in federal student loans, and it's terrible. It's a trap that you continue to fall into the farther along you get into school. And I'm not joking. A lot of students spend the refunds of checks they get back or refund of their student loans on spring break trips or on down payments of brand new cars while they're in school. So you're using borrowed money to do things that you can't afford to do already before you even started out in the real world. Please don't do this, okay? Cancun, Panama, wherever you're going, it's not worth paying for it years down the line when you don't even have a memory because you probably don't actually recall what happened on that spring break trip. So, this is the number 2 option. It's a little bit more favorable than private U because both of those were terrible, but you're still taking out these loans and it's not a good look. So number 2 is the most favorable, kind of favorable, but it's not the one we want you to choose. So that's why it's option number 2. Number 1, this is the best option. Not always the most realistic, some will say, but hear me out. Choose a public school. It's cheaper from the start, and a lot of times it can be totally covered debt-free. Now, some students won't choose this option. Why won't you choose this option? Because my boyfriend or girlfriend's not going there, and I don't want to be necessarily so close to home, and there are always a ton of reasons why people may not want to attend a public school. A lot of people look down on public schools and think, oh, we're private, it's more prestigious. You get more prestigious loans and debt to go along with it, just as an FYI, so you're aware of that. I'm saying this to you, and I went to a private school, and there are times I look back and go, man, I could have went to public, not had these student loans, not be paying out money every single month. So please take heed to what I'm saying. But let's dive into the best option. So look, I want you to look at this option here. Look at what this person has, okay? So the actual cost, $23,032. And they are not going to take out any loans whatsoever. They're not taking out loans. So they would have that zero balance because everything would be indeed covered. Now, you don't get any additional gap aid. That's what you see there. You don't get any gap aid. Once everything is covered, they're not giving you anything else additional. And if there's no, if you choose not to take out the student loans, then you don't take them out. Now, this is the chance to actually show how you are smart because that degree does not prove you're intelligent. Trust me, I went to class with plenty of unintelligent people and I've even worked with some of them. This is the best financial choice for your family. And if you work in between the school year, you can have a decent savings account for emergencies and other expenses. A lot of you probably think that my option is wrong, that I'm wrong for saying that is the best option for you to attend. That's perfectly fine. But there's a little saying that really does lend itself true. And I'm a person of experience, so I'm not at the mercy of someone with an opinion. I took out student loans, and I'm wishing I hadn't every single day, because there are certain things I would want to do in life that I choose not to because I'm not in the financial situation I want to be in. And yes, you hear though there's no perfect time for a lot of things, but for me there's an optimal time where I'm not purposely putting myself in a dumb situation or a dumb financially stressed position. So, if you want to know my situation or my story of when I went through undergrad and graduate school, so I was a pretty high achieving student. I had a 4.3 graduating out of high school. I actually received a diversity scholarship from my school based on an essay and a certain GPA I needed to maintain because my family did suffer from financial dire straight situation, whatever you want to say. I received Pell Grant, the FSEOG. I received additional gap aid as well. I was kind of considered an extreme case. That being said, because I still chose to cross state lines, go to a private school, my undergrad came to a total of $23,000 in federal student loans. I didn't have to take out any private. And I went straight through undergrad, so as soon as I went through undergrad and I graduated and I walked that May after my 4th year, I took that, somewhat took that summer off, and then I started right back again in August and went through an accelerated program for my master's degree, so I took out another $18,000. So when I graduated, total, because everything is in deferment because I was still a student, I had a total of $41,000. Now, that $41,000 has haunted me ever since I graduated a second time in 2012. So I just want you to be aware that these student loans have long-lasting implications on your life. You don't understand it, you don't see it now, but they do, and I don't want you to go through that same thing. I also don't want you to pick a situation where you're also sticking your parents with debt, and that's the second thing. That's something we'll go over next week in breaking down loans themselves and what they all mean, the reality you could face with them. But really use some critical thinking when reviewing your financial aid packages. I just broke down to you what it would probably look like in your home when you're going through the different packages. You're going into my key to you, my advice to you. If you've ever seen high school students when they do their college selection, if they're a big-time football player and it's televised, and they have the hats that are laid out in front of all the different schools, do that. Lay out whatever information you have for your top 3 schools. So I don't care what those schools are. Lay them out. And be able to look over and use this video as a reference to scrutinize and break down. Because if I were you, I would highlight just the free money on there, because that's really going to determine what your out-of-pocket cost is and will determine what is best for you and your family to afford for school. I hope this video is able to help somebody. It is the most important part probably of this high school series that I did in breaking down this financial aid package. And I'll even put these back up real quick for you to be able to see. So this was Private U, had a cost of $40,885 for the year. Remember, this took into account everything. Tuition, room and board, school activity fees, any and everything that you could be doing on campus. And we broke it down. So your total free package of money was actually only $25,000. The worst option for you to do was unfortunately actually not to take out those, or the worst option you could have done is you took out the student loans and you still had money to pay left over. The least favorable option, you didn't take out student loans at number 3, but you still had to come up with a pretty hefty bill every single year to cover at $15,885. Most people don't just have that laying around. Remember, if you've gone over any of my other videos on my channel, average person doesn't even have $1,000 for their name. 30% of people don't have $1,000 for their name in savings. These were the more favorable options for Public U if you attend it. So already the cost is cheaper at $23,032. So your free aid, if you chose to take out no student loans, would completely be covered. That was our most optimal decision. If you chose to take out your student loans, because you can always do that, it's always available to you, unfortunately, you would have that excess of $5,500 per year, but that's going to rack up to quite a bit of debt for when you graduate. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt for being stupid and taking out student loans. Never would I ever do it again. So please don't do it. I hope that you take something from this. If you have questions, comments, whatever, put them below. Like, share. This will be shared on all my platforms, trust me. And I thank you so much again, parents, students, teachers, whoever is watching this video. I hope this helps you.